Yes, thank you very much, Eugenio, and thank you for having me here today with you. My name is Paola Di Marzo. I'm project officer at Erasmus Student Network, and well, I'm gonna talk about one of the most successful programs of the European Union. We can consider it really like a flagship program. So my presentation will be a bit less emotional, but I will talk about the Erasmus, which is a very exciting opportunity for many students and triggered an entire generation because allowed many students in the past, but even nowadays, to travel around Europe. Of course, traveling and Erasmus has an impact on climate and on the environment. So that's why the environmental sustainability became a key priority of the Erasmus Plus program, and sustainable internationalization among the challenges of the higher education sector. We need to think about the dimension of the program. It allowed so far 11 million students to benefit from the exchange, so to study abroad or to have an internship abroad. Our journey together today will be based on some data regarding the travel and transport choices and consumption habits of students. We will see the incentives for students to travel sustainably, the resources they can use to live a sustainable exchange, and how they can connect with the local community around the topic of environmental sustainability. I want to start from the Green Erasmus project. It's a project that ESN leads. The Green Erasmus strives to improve the environmental sustainability of the Erasmus Plus program and raise awareness across the European higher education sector about sustainable internationalization. With this research, we wanted to investigate the students' habits while at home and during their Erasmus Plus mobility, to see which are their barriers to sustainable behaviors, their system of attitude, beliefs, and norms, and what's the role of the university in all this. We launched a survey in spring 2021 to ask students what they think about the environment, if they are concerned, what are their habits, and we collected over 20K replies, but we analyzed after data clearance more than 7K. Most of our respondents were registered in Germany, then Spain and Italy. So here you can see the breakdown per sending university. And for, well, here we start to see some finding. I will not go through the entire report. I can give you the project website, the source, and then you can download it. But as we can see here, while quality is the most important consumer criteria for students when at home, this aspect becomes less important for students on exchange as they prioritize price. When we ask some few sustainable habits, there is not much difference. We see a bit of a difference and then positive increase for students on mobility when it comes to bringing their own bags when they go on shopping or buying used items. When it comes to travel choices, well, plane is the most used means of transport for both ways, so to go to the mobility destination and then to return from the mobility destination. And when it comes to tourism and their transport choices, well, we see a difference in the sense that plane wins when students study at home, at their home country, but while they go on mobility, trains or bus are more popular choices. If we dig a bit into the details of the plane and the flight choice, students opt for low-cost airline, seeking to benefit from very cheap and convenient air travel compared to greener alternatives, which are usually more expensive and time consuming. almost all our samples said that they are concerned about climate change. 77% of our respondents believe that the individuals have an impact on climate change. 79% believe that individuals should take actions, but we saw, and this is one of the main conclusions of this study, that there is what we call attitude behavior gap. So despite the level of concern and willingness to act and take over responsibility, students choose to fly by plane when going and coming back from mobility destinations. So this has a heavy impact on climate and environment, and they do not seem to prefer fair trade or second-hand products. Is it true that very concerned students show signs of a more sustainable lifestyle, but marginal compared to the total sample? So the main conclusion of our report is that external factors like price seem to greatly affect their travel and consumption habits, regardless their attitude towards climate change. But actually, after showing this data and after finding these conclusions, we question: can students really make a choice? Greener alternatives are often more expensive and time-consuming, and this is valid for all of us, I think. If we want to reach a destination by plane and train, we see a considerable difference in price. And the Erasmus Plus program provides extra fundings to students who hoped to travel sustainably, but this top up, how it's called in the guidelines, it's just a 50 euros single contribution that includes also 4 additional days of individual support to cover travel days. For us, this instrument is quite limited because it doesn't cover the high cost and longer duration of land travel. The green top-up gave many headaches to higher education institutions because they don't know how to issue, they don't know how to inform students, so students don't even know how to request it, and higher education institutions don't have clear guidance on how and when they can issue the top-up. So sometimes it's the approach might change from one institution to the other. Our proposal as a students association is to increase the current top-up to 250, so from 50 to 250, proportionate to the distance covered, and then to give up to 7 days of additional support. In this way, students can cover their accommodation cost, subsistence cost, without being out of pocket. Actually, we framed a petition on this proposal. You can scan the QR code and you can sign the petition. We already reached 5K. It was our goal, and then we're gonna present these signatures and this claim to the European Commission. In the petition, we also advocate for systemic change because increasing the top-up is a bit a short-term proposals. We ask for cheaper trains, bus, and sea travel instead of subsides on air travel. We ask for better high-speed trains connections across Europe and also a more integrated train and bus network throughout Europe, including an integrating booking platform, because nowadays it's very easy to buy a flight, less to buy a train ticket if you need to cross many countries. And also a more accessible network for people with disabilities, because of course they struggle more to travel green. Meanwhile, we wait for changes from the European Commission. We also developed a number of tools that students but also staff can use. Within another project, another EU-funded project, Erasmus Goes Green, focusing on transport, we developed an handbook to travel green. Our idea is to support students in their understanding. So we explain in the handbook what are the mobility patterns of students what is the environmental impact of the Erasmus Plus, why plane travel is to be avoided, and at the same time we provide tips and tricks to organize a sustainable trip, but we also show positive stories of people who went on Erasmus by train or bus. Another tool is the Green provide students with concrete information on how to be sustainable before, during, and after their Erasmus experience. Is divided in 3 sections: before, during, after, encompassing many dimensions of the exchange. So students can see how they can save energy, how they can face the waste and recycling rules while abroad. All pockets that are important for the planet and for the students.
2 minutes to go.
Thank you. And for the students' pocket. It also hosts 2 games and the Green Erasmus quiz to test sustainability knowledge. Last but not least, we also developed the guidelines for environmental activities while on mobility to encourage sustainable behaviors, to engage international and local students, and encourage them to work together with local environmental associations to understand the environmental issues at the global but also at the hosting country level. The guidelines are conceived for anyone, especially for people or students association that do not have any experience in organizing environmental activities. It uses a learning by doing approach, and for us the focus is the involvement of environmental associations that have the expertise on some topics, whereas a students association might not have that type of knowledge. It's divided in 3 areas. We cover sport, awareness and activism, responsible consumption, and for each of these areas we propose events, workshops, campaign, and volunteering activities. That's it. I think I respected the 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Paola.